I'm happy to have Melanie Joly with us this morning. She is, as you know, a Liberal cabinet minister. She lastly held the portfolio of economic development and official languages. She is a candidate right now, trying to get reelected in Ahuntsic-Cartierville. Melanie Joly, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, David. Great to hear you.
Thank you. Great to hear you. Full disclosure, we've known each other for a while.
Indeed.
But it's the first
we,
time.
we shared the responsibility of of many citizens together.
Exactly. We were neighboring. I mean, your federal riding is right next to Saint Michel, where I was an M&A, and we did a lot of files together. It's a real pleasure to have you on. Look, I have to start with Afghanistan. I don't know if you had a chance to hear the interview I just finished with a former Canadian serviceman who was posted in Afghanistan. It's a really hard situation, I got to say. And I understand this is not your portfolio. I know this is not your file, but still. It seems that we're not doing enough, I got to say, to get those Afghans out, those Afghans that really served with Canadians, that wore the Canadian flag. It seems to be very difficult to get them out. Can you tell us what the federal government is doing to speed things up right now?
Yeah, thank you, David. Obviously, it's a tragedy what's going on in Afghanistan. We've seen the images of Kabul, and I hear the preoccupation of many women and girls and different religious and sexual minorities, very preoccupied with the next steps. Now, we've, as a country, left Afghanistan in 2014 when 40,000 of our armed forces members left. And so it's been 7 years that Canada is not on the ground anymore in terms of our own armed forces. It is really not right now a decision that was made by the American administration and President Biden, and obviously it has consequences on people on the ground. So what we've done, since we believe in helping refugees in times of humanitarian crisis and in human rights, we've said that we would be taking care of obviously these Afghan interpreters and their families, but more than that, we would be allowing 20,000 Afghan refugees to come to Canada. We are working also with many of our neighboring countries of Afghanistan, to make sure that people that have left Afghanistan can come to our embassies and missions and claim status. We have a list of these Afghan interpreters and their families, and we're really, really working night and day to make sure that these people are coming safe here. There's hundreds of people that have arrived by plane at this time, but obviously we need to do more, and we will be doing more.
Let's hope, and we cut out the red tape. I was an immigration minister, and it's not it's not the civil servants personally that have a problem, but sometimes the red tape gets in the way. So let's hope the federal government expedites this as fast as possible. I'm going to move on, Melanie. You're an MP. You've been an MP for years in Montreal, Ahuntsic-Cartierville. You've seen it like I have, the rise in gun violence. We need to talk about gun policy. Yesterday, I had Nathalie Provost on the show. You know her. She's a survivor of the 1989 tragedy at Polytechnique. She heads up Police se souvient. Here's what she had to say yesterday about the federal government's position on gun control.
Oh,
hold on. We'll listen to her.
They promised things that we applauded. They did great in May when they prohibited the possibility to purchase assault-style weapons. But it's a good effort, but it's not complete. And what we want from them is to deliver completely what they promised Canadians in 2015 and in 2019. So we want them to go to to fulfill completely what they promised. And it's very important to us because one of these promises regarding assault weapon, a complete ban It's our first week request from January 1990. So it's fundamental to us.
Melanie Joly, what do you have to say?
Well, I have immense respect for Nathalie. I think she's done a very, very important work over the years by giving a voice to not only people that have been, victims and victims' families of Polytechnique, but all the people that are left behind because of gun violence. Now, like Nathalie just mentioned, we ban assault weapons. That it is the first time in our history that we're doing so. And I hear her calls for us to do more, and I agree with her. We need to do more. And so that's why I'll be talking to my colleagues about it. I know she's asking for a mandatory buyback program, and that's certainly something that we need to look into very, very well, because there's an increase of gun violence in Montreal. It is extremely preoccupying, and we need to do more as a government at all levels, federal, provincial, and municipal.
I have a ton of questions and 30 seconds left, so I'll try to. I have one.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, I know, and it's on me. But but those two topics I thought were very important. But on economic development, I just want to hear you on the fact that one, the labor shortage, immigration is a key issue. I know that's the contentious issue with the provincial government, and also there's inflation starting to creep up rapidly. Can you tell us what your stance is on both issues? Because businesses are really, really worried about all of this.
Yeah. So we've been there for business since the beginning of the crisis. We're still there because some of them still need liquidity and support, particularly in the tourism and arts and culture sector. We've announced very interesting ideas on Monday about that to make sure to continue to support them. Well, meanwhile, other sectors of the economy are going very well. Construction, for example, certain parts of the services. And so we need to make sure that we do the right investments, that we invest in public transit, infrastructure, everything in line with the green economy. And obviously, we need to make sure that we have more people coming in Quebec and in Canada at the immigration level, because there is an issue of worker shortage, which will have an impact on our economy if we don't deal with it. And so it will be a pleasure to work with the provincial government to put pressure on them also to make sure that they do more on that file, because, the economy is a complicated issue in the sense that it's one thing to deal with the lack of jobs, but also it is even more complicated to deal with worker shortage. So we have to make sure that we have solutions. Immigration
I really have to go. Sorry, Melanie. And as you say, it's always a pleasure to work with the provincial government, right? Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Melanie Joly.
It's a pleasure. Take good care.
You too. Melanie Joly, Liberal MP candidate in Ahuntsic-Cartierville, Federal Minister of Economic Development and Official Languages.